Hi Flosstube, welcome to my channel. My name is Caitlin and this is Stitch, Read, Repeat. You have found a YouTube channel about cross stitch. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad that you joined me. Thank you for joining me. And if you're coming back, I really appreciate you. And I hope that you find something of interest during this latest episode. This is episode number 4, which is wild. In September already. I feel like that's been my life this summer is, wow, it's August, wow, it's September, and here we are. So anyway, welcome to all of you. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining me, for all of your wonderful comments, and the support that I've received. It's been great. A special shout out to Pam and Steph of Just Keep Stitchin'. They featured me a few weeks ago as their silver floss tuber. I was tickled that that happened and so appreciative. So I haven't had a chance to send them a thank you. I love a handwritten card, but Pam and Steph, if you see this, thank you for shouting me out. I appreciate your friendship and your support and the community that you're building here on Flosstube. Somebody asked a question in one of the comments, and so I thought I'd address it right off the top. There typically is something that hangs on the wall kind of right over here behind me. Tulips are my favorite flower, and I found this needle pointed piece at a thrift store, and it's seen better days. But I think it's really pretty, and it's just fun to hang. I thought about trying to clean it. It's kind of yellowed around the edges here, but I think I'm just gonna leave it. It's a funky shape. I love a good gallery wall, and thought that it would be fun to add to this wall space. So here it is in all its glory. It was professionally framed, though there's no year. But yeah, I just think it's beautiful. So today I've got a couple finishes. I've got just a few whips, some haul, some purchases, a few gifts, which have been really a sweet surprise, and then a number of book recommendations for you if you're interested at the end. So stick around for that, but let's get right into it. I have 2 finished objects. They're not fully finished yet, but I thought I would share the finishes with you. The first one is a project that I'm doing for a swap, actually, and I just dropped something, of course. That's what you get. So this was Modern Folk Embroideries, the first flowers. And I stitched this in a 36 count Picture This Plus Tyco linen. And I used the color Bejeweled by Classic Colorworks. And these few strands are all that's left of an entire skein. So just a heads up, I'm not the most judicious with my floss, but it did use almost an entire skein. And here it is. So I think it's beautiful. Somebody told me at a group that I was stitching with, they said that's a lot of work for a small, but I really enjoyed it. Something about the symmetry of it was very appealing, and this color is absolutely beautiful. There's a slight variegation to it. I love this teal color. So here she is. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to finish this yet, but it does need to be fully finished and shipped off by the end of the month. So we'll see. I'll be sure to take a picture before my next video so you all can see what that looks like when it's fully done. My other finish is something that I finished in preparation for a class with the Sampler Guild that I'm a part of here in Delaware. It's called the Delaware Valley Historic Sampler Guild. And we have a class coming up in September here to fully finish this piece into a paper mache box, and there's some other aspects to the project. So this is from Teresa's Primitive Treasures. It's on a 32 count natural linen, and she sent us all the threads. So there's DMC, and then I think there's a couple fancy flosses in here, and this is what it looked like. So it's a real sweet little sheep with a pumpkin. I don't know if I'd say this is 100% my style. I'm excited to see the finished product, and I'll be sure to share that with you guys. Really, for me, the allure of the class was learning how to do this finishing technique and then hopefully applying it to something in the future. So this was a quick stitch. I thought it interesting. She called for just one thread over one strand of floss over 2 linen threads on a 32. So it's very prim. The sheep, you can see it's done in a, it's not white, it's more like a cream, but the coverage isn't completely full. I would have preferred a more full coverage, but for the project, I think it'll look really nice. So again, this is just real small. Took me just a few evenings here and there, but I'm excited for this class coming up. Okay, so I have 2 whips to share with you. One is actually a brand new start. I chose to start this with a girlfriend of mine, someone who I met through StitchCon actually. Her name's Courtney. Her Instagram handle is stitch.laugh.love, stitch.laugh.love, Courtney. And she stitches all kinds of things, but we both had this fabric at home, so we thought we could start it together. So the project we started is Cottontail by Hello from Liz Matthews. We're both doing it in this vibrant colorway, but Courtney has changed hers a little bit, so I'll have you go to her Instagram page to see her changes that she's made. I'm stitching it exactly as shown on a 40 count linen. This is the color Malachite from Fiber on a Whim. It was new at market this year, and it's all called for DMC. I will say that this fabric has given me a run for its money. It's a 40 count, like I said. It's this dark green color. It's very hard to photograph, and it's difficult for me to see. So I've never been more grateful for a good light and a good magnifier. So here is my bunny so far. You can see there just 2 ears and the very top of his head. I'm enjoying it so far. It's just something that I need that light and my magnifier to make sure that my X's are actually going where they need to go. She started in the bottom right hand corner. I am a top left starter, so I actually started kind of in the top middle with his ears. So she's made a lot more progress than I have. It's been fun to watch her stitch on this, and this has been a fun project for me to stitch as well, and I'm excited to have it done once it is done. So Courtney, thanks for starting this with me. Happy belated birthday, and I appreciate your friendship. The other work in progress that I pulled out was a total oddball, out of left field. I don't think anyone would have guessed this, that I would have pulled this out to stitch in August and September. But I had some trainings at work that were kind of all day, sit in your chair, listen to a speaker. It was a casual sort of environment. There were some coworkers that were knitting, I noticed, or you know, somebody had brought like an adult coloring book and they were coloring. So I thought, well, I do better if I can have a fidget or something in my hands I still listen, but it helps me stay focused. So I thought, well, I'm gonna bring my stitching. What can I stitch? So I looked through my projects and I thought, okay, this room isn't very well lit. I don't wanna bring a light or a magnifier and draw a lot of attention to myself. I wanna be respectful of the presenter, be able to engage. So I looked through my projects and I found something that I have that's on an 18 count Aida. It's a light colored Aida and it's charted very well, so it's easy to read. So I pulled out, surprise, surprise, my Glad Tidings by Lindy Stitches. And I'm working on this one over here that says Gloria in Excelsis Deo with the 4 angels on it. And let me show you what I got done. It's on a big piece of fabric because I bought the fabric to do both pieces. This is let me find it here. This is an 18 count Aida by Seraphim Fabrics in the color Stonewashed. And Stephanie charted it in DMC and Dinky Dyes, and then also some other fancy flosses. So here it is so far. And I'm just so excited about this. So when I picked it up, I had this first row of O's, part of the L and part of the G. So I basically stitched from this star all the way down. And this angel's not done, obviously, but that was a lot of stitching. It was easy stitching to do during a training, especially this line here. It's just every other square in this chevron pattern. And my coworkers kept asking, "Are you done yet? Are you done yet?" I said, "No, I've got a long way to go." But it was a lot of fun and I'm excited. I think that this piece will for sure stay out. It's an easy one to pick up, like I said, if I don't have good lighting or just need something kind of easy. This angel, I'm finishing up these pink stripes on her dress, and then the same gold color that's up here will fill in the spaces, so that'll be kind of an easy fill in. She also has a big wing up here that I'll need to stitch, so just some good block stitching. But I've loved this pattern ever since I saw it. It was one of the first things I started when I came back to cross stitch, and I'm excited to get this one done so that I can then start on the next one. So I just think it looks so great. So here it is, Glad Tidings by Lindy Stitches. Okay, get some water. Next, purchases. Okay, so it's been a few 6 weeks maybe since I last filmed, 5 or 6 weeks. I've had a couple things go on, been busy wrapping up an old job, getting ready to start a new job. I'm excited about that. And so stitching was on and off. I did a few purchases, like I said. Some things were kind of sent to the house, other things I did and went to. One of the things that I did was a cross-stitch store local-ish to me, just across the border in Pennsylvania, had a sidewalk sale where they were selling gently used patterns and things. And so I went thinking, well, let me check it out. I don't know. You paid a flat rate and they gave you a bag, and then you could fill the bag with as much as you wanted. So I found some good stuff. I found some charts. I'll show you a few. And then I also found a lot of old magazines. I love looking through an old cross-stitch magazine. Maybe I wouldn't stitch everything, but I might find a small here or there that I might want to stitch. I found a lot. It was 10 different ornament issues of, I think just cross-stitch Christmas ornaments. So I'll show you one of those here. Just fun to look through, and I figured, well, I've got a bag to fill. It won't hurt if I just find one ornament to stitch and then pass that magazine on. So I found a few things there I wanted to show you. First, this is from All Through the Night. It's called Stocking Full. It's just this cute little snowman in a stocking. I thought he was cute. It was a chart I hadn't seen before, so I threw him in my bag. Next is from Exemplars from the Heart, and this is the Greenhouse Sampler. I just thought that was so sweet. I love green. I'll stitch a house, and it's small. I don't have the thread count right offhand here, but I thought it was a sweet little sampler, something different. Again, something I hadn't seen before. If you've been around for a while, you know I love a good alphabet. I love stitching words. I love stitching letters. This is from Queenstown Sampler Designs. It's called Sarah Comfort 1810. It's a reproduction of a Quaker sampler. I thought that was really pretty. And then one of the magazines I got, this is just an example, but this is a Just Cross Stitch Ornaments issue from 2001. So 2001, I was in the 5th grade, and if that ages me, there you go. But there's still some good stuff in here. So I wanted to show you a few patterns that I liked, a few charts that I liked. So the thing that I liked about this magazine is that they put all of the pictures at the front, and then you have to flip through alphabetically to find the chart. And so that made it really easy to just do a quick look through at the beginning and then figure out which ones you might like. So this first one I really like is from Handwork, number 4 here. It's called Rejoice. I thought that was a simple little, it's Christmassy, but not really. I thought that was pretty. And then, let's see. There's animal patterns in here, there's snowmen, there's like 75 charts in each of these magazines, which is incredible to me. There's a Cherished Teddies pattern if you like them. But this is really what I was excited about. So this one right here is actually a Birds of a Feather chart. It says Noel, it says joyous, joyous, joyous around the side, and then Noel. Here's the JBW Designs chart. So there's some good ones in here. I think there's a blackbird, all kinds of stuff. And lucky for you, I actually picked up 2 copies of this magazine on accident. I didn't realize that one was by itself and one was in a bundle. And so I thought I would give this one away. So if you are interested in entering to win this magazine, it is a used magazine. I don't think any pages are missing, but just know that it's not in pristine condition. I will ship this anywhere in the United States. I just ask that you leave me a comment by October 1st, and we're going to use the word sidewalk. Sidewalk is one word, S-I-D-E-W-A-L-K, sidewalk, by October 1st in your comment. I will ship this anywhere in the United States, and hopefully that gets you some time before Christmas if you want to stitch an ornament for yourself, for an exchange, for a gift. I thought I'd do this for my first giveaway. So if you're interested, let me know, and good luck. Something else that I started right after StitchCon, actually. When I was at StitchCon, I noticed in the annex there was some fabrics from Millennial Fabrics. I had met the owner at StitchCon the year before. She had given out some samples and I really liked her fabric. I actually bought some at StitchCon, and I'm trying to find the right charts to use for those, but she started a fabric of the month and I thought, well, I've never done a fabric of the month. Let me give that a shot, see what I think. And so I signed up for Millennial Fabrics fabric of the month. You pay and then she ships it at the very end of the month. So you get August's fabric at the very end of August, and then you pay September 1st to get it at the very end of September. So that's kind of the schedule she's on. She has a website and a Facebook group if you're interested. I thought I'd show you two different colors that I've gotten so far. I don't know what I'm going to do with these colors yet because they're kind of out of my wheelhouse. I'm a little curious to see if some more neutrals come. I did send her a message, so we'll see what she says. I think if it continues to be these vibrant colors, I might stop after a while just because it's not always what I stitch on, but it's been fun to support her. So the first one is called Grape Jelly. This is from July, and here she be, very vibrant. I get a 36 count linen, and this is a fat quarter. So you can see there, it's very purpley, grape jelly. I think that fits. And then the color for August, again, 36 count, is called Peach Cobbler. And when I saw the color name and then I saw how it looks, I was a little, I don't know if I'd call this Peach Cobbler, but I do like it. But it's very orange. That's showing up just about right. And I have no idea what I'm gonna put on this. I think it's too pinky orange for Halloween. Maybe not, but yeah, I've got to figure out what am I going to stitch on this. I think it'll be fun. I thought maybe something for my daughter. But anyway, it's been fun to support her, to see projects people are stitching on their fabric, and it's a fun little surprise at the end of each month to add to your stash and just to see what you get in the mail. I enjoy a good surprise now and then. Okay, so next is a few gifts. I got a few gifts and I was so tickled. It's sweet to have friends, and it's sweet to have friends that, you know, appreciate you, friends that see something and think of you, friends that pass the stash. If you don't have a cross-stitch friend, I hope that you can find one, whether it's a virtual friend, whether it's an in-person friend. This community has so much to offer in terms of friendships, and some of the people that I am closest to are people that I've met through stitching. And so I'm grateful for these women, and wanted to share just a few things that I received. So my friend Ruth, who lives here in Delaware, she has a Flosstube channel, Spectrum Farms. She had given me a few things, and I wanted to show these because I think that they're so sweet. The first one is from Hands On Design, and it's a vintage stitch 2 hexie. I just love this. I am not a quilter. I actually think I'm probably going to stitch something more like this because that looks doable in my eyes. But I love this design from Kathy at Hands On Design, and was so grateful that Ruth thought of me. She also not only gave me the chart, but she gave me a pair of the scissors that match the chart. So that's really fun. So there's that. I thought that was a neat gift, so thank you, Ruth. The other thing that she gave me was a duplicate in her stash, and so she thought I might appreciate it. I had never seen this sampler before, but it's from Blackbird Designs. It's called We Live in Hope. So I did actually buy the flosses for this, and I would like to start this I don't have any blackbirds started. I've never stitched a blackbird, and I thought it would be neat to stitch one that was given to me by a friend. And so this is on the short list. We'll see when, but again, Ruth, thank you so much. And then my friend Courtney, who I am stitching Cottontail with by Hello from Liz Matthews, she sent me a package the other day, and she included in it a couple project bags, one of which I'm using for my Cottontail project. It's a So Much to Love bag, and it's got these really cute bunnies on it. I just think they're the cutest things ever. I especially love the bunnies with the glasses, and so I just wanted to show you this. It's got rainbows on the inside, which is fun, and Courtney, thank you again. All right, Stitchy plans. So I need to fully finish the exchange piece, like I showed you on the Modern Folk Embroidery chart that I finished stitching. I think I'm going to try to do some sort of a stand-up, not a stand-up, I guess it's a tall and skinny flat fold. It's not stuffed, it's like on a mat board with some cording maybe around it. So that's number one on the priority list. And then I'll also take the class with the Guild later this month, and so I'll be able to finish that pumpkin chart with the sheep and get that done. So I'll have that for my next episode to show you. I need to start thinking about, also with the Sampler Guild that I'm in December, they do an exchange. It's not holiday themed, it's sampler themed, which is fun, something small. And so you can do anything sampler themed that's small. It needs to be fully finished, you wrap it up, and then it's just a regular exchange where you put them all on the table and you draw numbers and you go pick. I'm thinking what I'm going to do, I have purchased the Sampler and Antique Needlework Quarterly magazines. I have purchased them online, so I have them all digitally. I want to go through those and see if I find something that might be fitting. I want to be sure that if I'm going to purchase, especially a digital file, that I'm using it. I thought that would be a perfect way. I know there's some larger samplers in those magazines that I really want to stitch, but for a smalls exchange, I thought that might be a nice spot to look, especially something that maybe not everybody has seen or maybe not already stitched. There's a lot of really incredible stitchers in the Guild who have stitched a lot of things, and so I don't want to pick, you know, a Plum Street from last year that everybody has stitched already. I want to be sure it's something that's unique to what they already have. So that's a project. And then my birthday is at the end of this month, and I have no idea what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to do a start for my birthday, if I'll do a certain number of projects over the year, if I just want to work down my whips. I haven't decided. I need to like sit down and think about it. I'm so, I'm squirrel here, squirrel there. I get distracted. So maybe looking through what I have and seeing if there's something that's really special that I want to start on my behalf, in my honor. So that's a plan, and I'm sure by my next episode I'll show you what that was I started, if I haven't already shared it on my Instagram account. So that's all I've got for cross stitch today. If that's all you came for, I appreciate you stopping. And again, if you're interested in that giveaway, please go ahead and comment below. If you'd like to hear some reading, things about reading, I've got kind of a quick list of books that I've read that I've really enjoyed. Please feel free to stick around, and here we go. So I've read a lot since I last saw you. I've really been on a kick of using my Libby app on my phone, both audiobooks and regular books, I guess, reading with my eyes and my ears. I kind of dug myself in a hole with my holds list on Libby, so I've been digging myself out. Every time a book comes up, I put a physical book down so I can finish reading the ebook version and kind of get out of that. Again, what's new, what's exciting, let me throw that on my holds list, and pretty soon they're all available at the same time. I also recently painted a couple rooms in my house, and so I had a lot of time, so I listened to a couple audiobooks during that, which was a great use of that time. And so here they are. I'll put pictures on the screen because I only have one of these as a physical copy. So the first book I read was Inheritance by Dani Shapiro, and this was a memoir written about her experience following her receiving the results of a DNA test, something like 23andMe, where you send in your saliva and they send you back your DNA. Where's your heritage from? There's a lot of conflicting opinions about these types of tests. I know they've led to a lot of family secrets being revealed. I know that I've taken one for myself. It was very interesting to see the results. But again, the author took one. She found some things out. She writes about her experience. No real spoilers here, because if you read the synopsis of the book, you understand what happens. But I would recommend it if you're interested in that kind of thing. It was an interesting look at her dealing with the results, but also looking at how she grew up and how that has impacted her as an adult. There's a newish author that I really enjoy. Her name is Shirlene Obwobi. She is Ghanaian American. She's actually a cardiologist now. She lives in Rhode Island. This was her sophomore novel that I recently read, called Between Friends and Lovers. But I fell in love with her first book, which was called On Rotation. When I was in college, I thought I wanted to be a medical doctor, and so I was very into that world. I did a lot of shadowing, a lot of research, a lot of talking to medical professionals, and I'm still very interested in that arena. And so reading fiction about women, especially in the medical field, has been very interesting. So On Rotation, I would recommend, but also her latest book, Between Friends and Lovers, kind of a love triangle, kind of not, but again, just it was a nice romance. Kind of I enjoyed the way that she navigated her character between her friend and someone who might be more than a friend. I won't say too much about it, but if you're interested in reading something by a person of color, somebody who's new and kind of up and coming to the scene, I would recommend you checking her out. An audiobook that I recently read, another niche of books that I really enjoy, is books about food, about chefs, about the restaurant world. A couple off the top of my head I can think of: Garlic and Sapphires by Ruth Reichel. I loved. Ruth was the New York Times food critic for a few years, and she talked about her experience in that book. David Chang is another chef that I really enjoy, and he wrote a memoir called Eat a Peach. He also talks a lot about mental health in that book, and I appreciated that. But this book that I recently read was called Yes, Chef. It was by Marcus Samuelsson. Marcus is an individual who was born in Ethiopia, adopted by Swedish parents, and now lives in the United States. His road to get to where he is and where he's been is fascinating. I knew nothing about him when I picked it up, but really enjoyed his reading of the book. The author actually narrates his own audiobook, and that was an enjoyable read for me. It's been the month of memoirs, because another memoir I read, which has gotten a lot of news coverage lately, I think, was by Charlotte Shane, and it's called An Honest Woman. Shane was I can't think of what she called herself, not an escort, but she was a sex worker, providing services to very high profile individuals in DC and New York, those kinds of areas. It was a short memoir. She talked about her experiences, not in a flashy way or in a, I never felt uncomfortable with what she had to say, but her reflecting on this work, her reflecting on how that's changed her mind about relationships. Again, it's kind of peering into somebody's mind who has a totally different view on life than I do, and I really enjoyed that. So if you've seen a mention of this book, she didn't read the audiobook, where the audiobook was well narrated, and it was something to think about. So I appreciated what she had to say on that in that memoir. Currently I'm reading, so I actually went to the library, and this book caught my eye. I knew nothing about it, but it's called This Shining Life. It's by Harriet Klein, and it tells the story of a gentleman who received a cancer prognosis and of just a short time, and it's told kind of in competing timelines, where you have while he's still here and after he's gone. His son is 11. I've only read about 100 pages of it, and so far there's no official diagnosis, but if I had to guess, his son is somewhere maybe on the spectrum. But learning about his life through his son's eyes, his son grappling with his father's death and life thereafter, how his wife is dealing, how his in-laws are dealing. It's all told around this concept of the son believes his father left him a puzzle to solve after his death. So the son is trying to figure out all the pieces of the puzzle. Whether or not the puzzle really was there, I don't know. But the way that the author is taking all of the members of the family and allowing them to feel what they're feeling, support each other in the moment, and also grow and move past this has been very eye-opening, and it's a perspective that I really appreciate. So far I'm enjoying this. It's a slower read, but I'm glad that I picked this one up. I've got book club this month, and our book club actually chose a book that I've already read. I read it last year when it first came out. It's Lisa C's latest book called Lady Tan's Circle of Women. It talks about a young Chinese woman in a long time ago. I won't pretend to remember the years that she was living, but she is practicing medicine. It talks a lot about Eastern medicine and how that's different than what we do now. There's discussions in the book about foot binding. I do need to go back and read some reviews and kind of get my mind wrapped around it. I remember when I read it, I really enjoyed it. Again, a very interesting depiction of women, women who have, by choice or by just nature of how they were born, are living very different lives, but working alongside each other or together. It's interesting to see how authors are able to kind of flesh out those relationships, show the goods and the bads, get inside characters' heads and understand how they're feeling and why they might be feeling that way. And then what I'm most excited about, oh my goodness. So at the end of this month, the History Book Festival takes place in Southern Delaware, and Jodi Picoult is one of the keynote authors, and her latest book is called By Any Other Name. And I am so excited to get to go and hear her speak about her book, to receive a signed copy of this book. Jodi is an author who I buy every book she writes. I found her in high school and have really enjoyed the journey she's taken me on through her writing. She writes, I guess the bookstore kind of puts her in the category of chick lit, but I would consider it maybe a little bit more than that. She writes about hard topics, and she wrote a book about abortion. She wrote a book about a school shooting. She wrote a book about COVID-19. She wrote a book, one of my favorite books of hers was about a person who was in prison for killing another person, and the man who was in prison wanted to donate an organ to the family of the person he killed. It's kind of a convoluted, Jodi gets you there through all these weaves and webs, but the ethics of organ donation, things you wouldn't always think about. Jodi has done a lot of interesting research to prepare for her books, and she's an author that I really enjoy. So I'm excited to get to hear her speak later this month and start reading her latest book. So there's the long list of books that I've read lately. I hope that you enjoy some of those, or you maybe look one up, look a couple up, learn about a new author. I tried to read fairly broadly. Again, like my cross stitching, it's whatever catches my eye, and I'm happy to share some of that with you here. So that's what I got today. Here we are, short and sweet. I think I like this length of video for me. It's easy enough for me to edit. It's easy enough for me to not feel too self-conscious about being on camera for too long. I get in, I get out, I show you what I need to, talk about what I need to, and we move on. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for being kind. Let's try to just remember to be kind to each other. I think there's been a lot of, I think especially as the election comes closer, things will get more and more tense. And I just ask that, you know, in our community as best we can, we be kind and respectful to each other. If you haven't already, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. And one thing I wanted to say is that September is National Suicide Prevention Month, Suicide Awareness Month. suicide affects most of us in some way. We maybe have contemplated suicide, maybe we've attempted suicide, maybe we know someone who's completed suicide, we know someone who loves someone who has. Sadly, it is more and more pervasive in our society, but I just want to say to you today that there is help and there is hope. A smile and a greeting can go a long way for someone, and that if you are ever in need, the national hotline is available to you. You can call 988 and someone will be there to help you and walk you through that. So be kind to each other, love on each other, enjoy your stitching, enjoy your reading, and I will see you hopefully around the beginning of October.